決して逃れることはできない。すべての命は我々の手のひらの上だ。
Hey, what's going on, guys? Jay Klein Anime Talk here. Today, we have to talk about Black Clover Chapter 293, and it's hard for me to compose my laughter after reading this chapter because this is one of those unexpected chapters for me. Like, we all thought about the possibility of Magna defeating Dante, but we know the way that's about to write. He always throws in this twist at the end, and I cannot believe I'm going to say this, but even years from now, we're going to be talking like, yeah, remember that time when Magna defeated Dante?
Let's be nice. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord.
Regardless, though, I'm very excited to talk about this chapter. And if you are excited as well to hear my thoughts and excited for Black Clover in general, be sure to leave a like on this video. A like goal is always 2,000 likes, but we surpass the limits every time with that. And if you are enjoying the content and want to support the channel even more, feel free to subscribe to the channel with notification bells on. Now, let's talk about Black Clover Chapter 293, Punching the Irrationality. Now, I gotta say that I love the way this chapter starts off because we see Luck in his ultimate magic lightning form heading towards the battle that's taking place with Magna and Dante, because this is such in Luck's character that he heads to the strongest area where he can fight the strongest opponent. We've seen this early on in the dungeon arc, so I wanted to see how Luck will respond seeing his best friend Magna win over someone like Dante. And oh man, we finally get that this chapter, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later on in the video. We then see this really cool panel shot with Dante and Magna, and the way that Dante was rising up from the ground, looking very evil, and he's telling Magna, how dare you make my back reach the ground. He's on this Undertaker type beat, the way he just rised up. It's one of my favorite panel shots with Dante in it. I just think it's so cool the way he's getting up from the ground. It looks dope. But what was not dope is how cheap this man was. Magna is beating this guy just by using his fist. He's fighting him with his fist alone. Dante is out here using a sword because he's so cheap. He realized that he's losing. He's using anything by any means. Like, okay, you're using a sword versus a fist. Wouldn't it be smarter if you made your gravity, instead of making a sword, make your arms and your hands covered with rocks instead of just making swords, because they will make your punches have more impact. But Dante lacks battle IQ. He really does. However, he does bring up the fact that he still has the advantage of Magna, even though right now their magic is equal. But on the other hand, Dante has this overwhelming power, which is his body magic. He is not taking any damage, while Magna, on the other hand, is taking the damage. So based just off magic type, Dante still has the advantage. Which reminds me of a time where Dante said a similar line to Yami. He talked about the fact that even though Yami is superior when it comes to battle IQ and when it comes to skill, Yami cannot defeat him because he has one thing that beats all, and that is his overwhelming body magic. Yami cannot overcome that. That's why he needed Asta. So this line that he said to Magna definitely reminds me of this situation when he was talking to Yami. And of course, this is when Dante starts to feel overconfident after saying that line, because he tells Magna that a cheap bastard like you cannot give me the greatest pleasure. And Magna, he has this inner dialogue with himself saying like, you know what, you're right, I'm a peasant. I'm not a noble, I'm not a royal, I'm not like Luck, who got an extra power boost because he was elf possessed, who already had ridiculous amount of magic power to begin with. Asta, who's also a peasant, but that don't mean anything because his anti-magic is crazy strong. Magna is that type of character that feel as though there are a lot of people that are above him that he simply just cannot reach, but he has to reach them eventually in his own way, despite his lack of mana. And we get this moment where Magna comes back to Yami, and Yami asked him, how did the Heart Kingdom training go? Did you have fun? And Magna, he lies to him. He said, yeah, I had fun, which makes a lot of sense because in the anime, which the manga didn't show, we see that Magna is begging Yami, can he also be assigned to go to the Heart Kingdom and train? Because at first he wasn't assigned to, but Yami, he allows him, and he says, you can thank Julius for that. However, Magna questions Yami, why did you pick me to be a part of the Black Bulls? And that's something I always wonder because I know that the competition had to be really tough for Magna. I wouldn't be surprised that Yami was the only person that raised his hand during the Magic entry exam. And Yami responds in the most Yami way. He tells him that because we have the same hobby, and you look like you had the most grit there. After that flashback, we go right back to the present, whereas Magna, he tells Dante that he will win. And we are seeing a full-fledged brawl where these guys are going back and forth. This is a boxing match. This is one of my favorite fights in this arc so far. Even though Dante, I really can't take him seriously after this, after this arc, but the fight itself, I love it. Because one thing to point out, early in Black Clover, even all the way to the Elf arc, it was a lot of team battles. But for some reason, ever since the time skip, we getting a lot of one-on-one battles. And I know that a lot of people have been asking for one-on-one battles, and we finally getting it. As this fight continues on, and we see that Magna is constantly hitting Dante. Dante can't even defend himself, but it doesn't matter because Magna is getting exhausted. He's bleeding. Dante is laughing. He tells him that, you see how unfair this is? This is a fruitless effort, referring to the fact that he has body magic, so there is nothing that Magna can do to fully damage Dante. And Dante, he's gloating about it, smiling, ready to do a final strike against Magna. And out of nowhere, before he can hit Magna, his 50% devil form is completely gone. Everything, his devil power, he has no magic left, everything is gone. He's wondering, what is going on? My devil power has completely vanished. And Magna tells him that, you idiot, is because we both ran out of magic because they are both sharing the same magic. A person like you who has an insane amount of magic never experienced the feeling of being completely drained from mana. You never fought anybody in your life who has the same level of magic power than you. So Dante was just spamming so much magic to the point where he did not realize that he was running low on mana because he never experienced something like this. And then he said to himself, did my contract with Lucifero also disconnect because my own magic power ran out? Remember guys, the Dark Triad did not do a devil binding ritual. And remember what Dorothy told us, that unless you're anomaly, unless your devil is in the real world, you can only form a contract with a devil and can use the power, but it's very limited. So Dante, him running out of magic power altogether, may had just disconnect the contract with Lucifero. I told you guys before, and I made a theory video about it, that Lucifero is only using Dante as his pawn. I made a theory video in the past that Dante, he will lose his contract with Lucifero either by leaving or betraying. This leads to many questions. What will Lucifero do? Because like he said, he can possess any low-level devil out there. He doesn't need Dante. This is going to be a huge turning point for the story. And then we see this amazing, satisfying uppercut from Magna, which was just amazing to see. At first, I thought like this chapter was going to end right off that. That was the kicker. That was the final blow that he was going to do. But, you know, Dante, he's a really tough guy. Even without body magic, he took that punch right to the chin, pun intended, and was ready to continue on the fight with Magna. Even though that punch had no magic or reinforcement magic in it, I will give him credit in that aspect because he was ready to go right after, even though I still won't take him seriously as a villain after this. Like, I just can't. And then we see the final blow from both of them. We see they both punch each other in the face, and Magna is victorious. Magna wins the showdown in a classic old school boxing movie fashion. And when this happened, we see that Noct and Asta and Luck are both showing up, and they see that Magna is screaming on the top of his lungs while Dante is on the ground in the face. The reaction that these two have is priceless because they don't know what happened in the fight. So they don't know that Magna has this hacks ability that Dante allowed to let himself get hit. They don't know what happened. All they see is that Magna is towering over Dante while Dante is on the ground defeated. And Asta knows firsthand how strong Dante was because it took him and Yami to fight. He don't know the clues or the context of what just happened, so he's looking at Magna like, oh my god. While Luck is probably thinking to himself like, did he just beat Dante, the boss of the Dark Triad? Is he now stronger than me? And I love the fact that it was Asta and Luck showing up to see the end results because they were there with Magna in the Heart Kingdom when Magna had left the Heart Kingdom because he wasn't strong enough to perform runes. And Asta was sad about it, but Luck told Asta that if he ain't strong enough right now, then that's all he's worth. and we see the fruits of his labor. We see Luck and Asta are seeing a better Magna. I love that it was those two who saw it in the end. And I also would love to see you subscribe to the channel with notification bells on. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves. Stay blessed, and I'm out.